So with Miss Bales, we're going to go ahead and we're going to practice one of my favorite exercises for puppies. So a lot of times puppies start to think that we become the end of fun. So what I mean by that is a lot of times the puppy grabs for an acorn. They grab for a child's plaything or a toy. Let's say the puppy goes and grabs a foreign body, like in the sense of a rock or something you just don't want them to play with. The problem with that, ready, Bales? Bailey, is that a lot of times then your puppy, for example, starts to think that we as people are always the end of fun. So we don't want our puppies to obviously eat these things because it could become an obstruction or something that could harm them. But if we're always taking things away, then we tend to be the end of fun. So what I like to play is a game with several different toys that she's allowed to have, from different chews to different tuggies. And then from there, practice having your puppy go from one toy they're playing with. So let's say Miss B is chewing on that item. I might even go, Bailey, get her attention. Ready? What's that? Find it. And have her practice disengaging from the item, but then not take the item away. If we're constantly always taking the items, your puppies are going to start to think, gee, every time you come nearby and you say drop it or give or out, which are your release words for take it and drop it exercises, is your puppy might think, gee, every time you said drop it, the item goes away. This can sometimes then lead to gulping behavior in puppies and then into adults, but it can also turn into resource guarding. So resource guarding is a very natural dog behavior, but at times can be very problematic for other dogs in the household, but also other people or children. The reason behind that is if your puppy, for example, gets really overwhelmed thinking every time someone or another housemate is coming nearby and they're going to swipe something from them, they may start to guard resources, trying to say, no, go away, I want to keep it for myself. And a lot of times it's a very natural response, but it can get exaggerated or even worse with how we deal with it. So I might try and get Miss B to go ahead and do a little bit of playing with the toy. I would also recommend a lot of times toys that are longer can be very nice because then it gives you more distance between the puppy's mouth and you. This one, for example, is sort of like a flirt pole. It is a little tuggy toy at the end that's technically sheepskin. This one was a lot larger once upon a time, but one of my friends borrowed it and it's a very old toy, so it kind of snapped in half. But we may find for some puppies, a lot of times movement is a great way to gain some attention and some check-ins. Miss B, again, this is her first day here at the doggy day school. So she is at times getting a little distracted because I have my little human daughter here too. So at times Miss B is wondering, well, what is she up to versus what am I up to? Bailey, yes. So like we were working earlier, she may have gotten out of the visual of the camera, but we just worked a lovely little name recognition in the beginning stages of those recalls. So even if Bailey doesn't quite practice the behavior right now today, I would recommend for homework is have a few of these fun little different toys out, have her practice. Like let's say she's playing with her piggy friend, and then from piggy, you let her play with it, you let her go and have the toy. Then you all of a sudden go from piggy and you make another toy wiggle and move. She releases the pig to then go play with the other toy. So that can be very, very helpful because it gets your puppy in the rhythm of being able to let go of something and then move on to another. The other option too is let's say your puppy, let's say we have a high value resource. So this could be, for example, a puzzle toy. This could be her frozen Kong. This could be even her food dish. So to avoid resource guarding, in puppies and then also future adults or adolescent dogs, I recommend to let your puppy have something of value that they're allowed to have, and then practice making it comfortable and fun to have you go nearby. So a lot of times what people will tell you, which is sadly outdated and not helpful information, is that you should be able to go and fool around with the dog while they're eating, go bother them while they're mid-chew, take the food or the toy back and forth out of their mouth. The problem with that exercise is that you're reinforcing that you coming nearby is a little bit scary or at times overwhelming. So let's say my puppy is enjoying a delicious snack. So maybe it's a hoof or the Kong like I mentioned. You would want to go and let's say they're enjoying it. go over and then plop some snacks right in front of the puppy and again, make that item better now that you came nearby. So one of my analogies is, imagine you were enjoying your ice cream cone and there's someone that comes by and then they can re-top the ice cream cone for you with your favorite toppers. So if that person was coming nearby and they're about to reload your ice cream that now has no more toppers, you're going to be very excited and offer your ice cream for more toppers. So with the puppy, if it's always me coming nearby, it means the end of fun. Nice job, cuteness. We want her to think that when I come nearby, it might mean we can move away from this high value item and practice doing even some find its from that resource. So let's say Miss B was maybe back over here enjoying her high value snack. Then I would practice from there, getting her attention and doing a little find it away from the item as she's getting more cozy. Another example is you could have your puppy's food dish, and as they're enjoying their meal, you could plop on by as you're walking a little crumb of a training treat. Maybe if you've got a little something she likes, you could just toss it right into that food dish and make it fun to have you sometimes pass by the item. So she's doing a real nice job. So sometimes throughout the exercises, if she's not always comfortable to do all of the skills, I like to go ahead and feed for anything good. So if, let's say, Miss B offers some check-ins, or she comes close to me and offers a little sit, or she notices me and gives me some eye contact, I would want to go ahead and feed for those moments. So yes. So remember, we're going to mark behavior with that yes. That lets her know exactly when she was correct. So if she was a bit slow on picking up on new skills, which is perfectly normal, she doesn't speak English and she doesn't understand human. So I always tell my students, think about your puppy as a furry little exchange student that doesn't know what's expected of her verbally, culturally, or physically. And then that can be very helpful to get your puppy to know later through showing them what you want. So if she's doing some jumping, I'm going to make sure that when I feed or engage is with all 4 feet on the floor, or I ask her for that lovely little sit behavior and feed for that. If your puppy is giving you a hard time, what is typically happening is your puppy is more than likely overtired. So puppies need between 18 to 20 hours of sleep a day, which means that you might only have your puppy awake with you for about 4 to maybe 6 hours, but there should be lots of lovely naps and decompression moments. So if your puppy tends to turn into the Tasmanian devil come the evening, it is more than likely that your puppy is extremely tired and therefore really mouthy and hard to calm down. So view it like a toddler that may have missed out on nap time, and then on top of that, they maybe missed out on snack time, and there's some unmet need, which could be rest or even just some relaxation. So for puppies, again, 18 to 20 hours of sleep a day. When she goes into being about 6 months old, you're hitting teenagehood. So right now she is a baby or a puppy. From 6 months to about 2 years, then she becomes a teenager. So a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, my puppy's doing amazing. And then all of a sudden teenagehood hits and the things you thought your puppy really understood are right out the window. So a lot of times we may find that keeping ourselves consistent, but also helping the puppy nurture the behaviors we'd rather versus correcting the behaviors we don't like will be very helpful. Nice job, cuteness. We'll get a little sit. Gorgeous, yes. So very nice job, Miss B. Lovely.